The wine I'd like to introduce now is Trousseau. I'm standing at the Sisters Vineyard in our block of Trousseau. This is the first Trousseau planted in the Willamette Valley. And the wines that I was trying to emulate were the wines from Trousseau's homeland, the Jura, especially centered around the town of Montigny-les-Arceaux, which is a really small town next to another somewhat larger town called Arbois. Arbois is famous as the birthplace of Louis Pasteur, who discovered, the means that generate fermentation. This Trousseau is a wonderful variety. I discovered it at a blind tasting. It was a blind tasting where everyone was supposed to bring Pinot Noir, but some smart aleck brought a bottle of Trousseau, and because everything was blind, we had no idea. And many of these Pinots were delicious and elegant and elevated, but there was one wine that was kind of like wild and grippy and had this wonderful fruit and, really vibrant acidity and sort of this wild, earthy, mossy character. And I thought, I have got to find out more about this Pinot Noir. The bag came off. It wasn't Pinot. So I went on a bit of a pilgrimage. I traveled to the Jura in 2011 and then discovered that actually planting stock was available here in the US. So in 2012, we planted these vines. And as you can see, they've become nicely established. We're here in sort of the early summer phase of their growth. And these things are incredibly vigorous early in the spring. And then by midsummer, they sort of top out about here and start putting their energy into the fruit. These clusters haven't really just barely begun to flower, a little bit behind the Pinot Meunier. But we actually pick it a little ahead of the Pinot Meunier, because I want to capture the acidity, that brightness, that freshness, and that wild mossy character that Trousseau always carries. Let's go to the tasting room. Check it out.
This is Trousseau, favorite grape of mine. Not because I think it's any better than any of the others, but because I and my crew had the opportunity to plant the very first Trousseau in the Willamette Valley. I was very influenced by the wines of the Jura, and I'm glad that this one really does reflect that. On the nose, you're going to get that very earthy quality. That's something that's really a characteristic of Trousseau. And in addition, you're also going to get a little fruit in there. And then when you taste this wine, I love that. It's this great sort of synthesis of red wine character and white wine character. There's the fruit and the exuberance of white wine. There's the tannin and the structure of red wine together. If you look at the color of this wine, you see it's quite light. That's because the clusters themselves are peppered with both black and white berries. And so when you squeeze the juice, you're not getting sort of the intense red that you would get from Pinot Noir. So here's our estate Pinot on this side, and the Trousseau here, you can see the color difference. Another thing that really characterizes the Trousseau is very low alcohol. So this is only about 11.5% alcohol, which is quite low for a red wine. It makes the wine refreshing. It makes it something you can crush in the summer. Very drinkable. It's even something you can put a little bit of a chill on if you like. And it's a great food wine. It really goes well with a wide range of things. I hope you enjoy it.